Hello, beautiful people. How you guys doing? I'm glad to be in your midst once again. I'm sure you guys will notice that my voice is not so sharp. Yes, it's because of the story I'm bringing right now that is just breaking, from Queen Naomi's camp right now. You recall not too long ago, some few minutes or hours ago, we did a story, informing Queen Naomi fans that Reverend Esther Ajayi and Queen Naomi's uncle, together with some spiritually loaded people, are currently having a 2 day prayer retreat, which is organized to, break that spiritual bond, between Ooniofife and Queen Naomi. This is to ensure that no spiritual connection is between them again, so that Queen Naomi can be set free. I think in that story, I told you guys that look, we always say that what God cannot do does not exist. That statement has not changed, So I believe that that prayer means a lot. If that is done, every other thing. I even made reference to the the customary court case that was going on at that time, and I made some allusions to it. But the story we are bringing now has to do with the court case, the customary court case that is going on. And the news is not that good. Let me just break it. So the news is that Queen Naomi's quest to gain freedom through the customary court suffers momentary setback, you know, because it is alleged that the customary court refused to continue with the case, saying the court advises both parties to go back home and settle their differences at home. But the findings we have is that this is not just happening like this. We heard that the court ostensibly took this decision out of what they allegedly termed great respect for their king and spiritual leader. I'm talking about the Ooniofife now, okay? You will recall we reported some time ago that this was not the first time that this court is I mean is having this sort of situation where they will start this case and somewhere in between they will not be able to finish it up. I think this is like the third time, that this case is coming up. Okay, so not much progress was made the first time, the second time, and look at it again this time. Nigeria situation has happened to it this third time. Perhaps they are taking a cue from the backlash that greeted a Benin court recently when the Oba of Benin, the great Oba of Benin, was taken to court. You recall that that thing generated a lot of uproar in the city of Benin City and by extension Nigeria at that time. They took the Oba of Benin to court, and the account we had at that time was that the judge that was supposed to take that case. I don't know how true this is, but we heard allegedly that the judge declined, and the people were kind of afraid because who is going to interrogate, who is going to be asking the Oba of Benin questions? Who is going to even take him, admit him in that court? How do you now, the paraphernalia of that authority, when all the chiefs with all their majesty are marching, whose court will have that capacity, the audacity to receive the great Oba of Benin? So I'm sure based on the backlash that greeted that case, I'm sure this is why this customary court is taking a cue from that. Okay. So maybe because that time that the Benin Oba was taken to court, in some quarters it was viewed as a taboo of some sort at that time. So maybe this time around, the people of Ife or the Yorubas generally, raising the fact that look, that it may not make sense if they continue with it. Okay, okay. So, but for the nature of the rituals or rites purportedly performed at the marriage, this to me, this their marriage thing to me could have taken a different trajectory for dissolution, which could have which could have terminated either by unilaterally or by mutual consent, subject to the refund of dowry. What I'm trying to say here is maybe because in this their marriage, a lot of rituals were involved and some other things that we are not privy to. Maybe that is why this one is a bit complex. I don't know. I don't have all the details. I don't live with them. I'm not related to these people. So some of the details that I don't have will not make me be able to completely, give an authority or, I mean, an informed opinion about this whole thing. But what I'm saying here is that, by my understanding, my layman understanding, if not for the fact that other things were involved, if not for the fact that, okay, the Yoruba custom and tradition is a bit different, I'm not so conversant with it. If not for all that, I think that when you talk of traditional marriage, I think at the point where the party that doesn't want the marriage, let's say the husband, the party that, or the wife who doesn't want the marriage, in this case now Queen Naomi, I think that if not for every other thing that is involved that we don't know, the best thing would have been that Queen Naomi's elders in her family, they will return the dowry that was paid for her. They will just return it, and once they return it, I think that I mean, foreclose that issue. You know, but again, the way these customary laws are interpreted differ from one community to the other. The way the Yorubas handle their own custom and tradition, especially as regards to marriage, is not the same way the Urobos, for instance, do theirs, or the Benin, or even the ethics, So it differs from one community to the other. Okay, so we must not forget, like I said, well, that interpretation of customary marriages, in Nigeria differ across different communities. Okay, so for me, I see this as another attempt to derail this matter, as it has been done the first time, the second time, and now. But if my layman understanding, like I said before, serves me right, I would just suggest that Queen Naomi's family should just return the dowry paid on her. That is what I think will have just sufficed right now. Okay, so that is that. But I need to tell you guys the reason why I'm reasoning this way. I'm reasoning this way because the court, knowing the position of the king, would not want to go, because the court knows that the king now, that is Ooniofife, has a position on this matter. He's not keenly disposed to, ending this matter anytime soon. So, sensing this, the court wouldn't want to go against it. So, for them, adjudicating the case could subject him, that is the king now, to public ridicule. Okay, so with this position of the court, it is safe to say that no further contestation will be entertained or encouraged by these customary courts. So sadly. But where does this leave Queen Naomi? That is the question that we should be asking. Where does this leave this poor woman? So while we cannot force the court to take this case, we do not, however, agree that Queen Naomi should be kept in abeyance for no just reason. She has not committed any crime. And she has a right not to be in a forced a union that is no longer working for her. I think she has absolute right to ask for her freedom, you know. So our justice system is indeed in trouble in this country. Everybody knows this. This is just a reflection of the rot, that we see every day. Now, the last hope of the common man, as we are told, is not just a phrase. So sad. Really, really so sad. So for me, in all of this, as a concerned Queen Naomi fan, I'm going to be very brutally frank here. I'm going to suggest straight away that, one, let the elders of Queen Naomi, the elders in Queen Naomi's family, led by the able uncle, who I understand is very, very unhappy right now, even though as we speak, they are right now continuing with the prayer session they are having, which is not a bad one. For me, I kind of think that this prayer is even more important, because if you break that spiritual hold, then you go ahead, you return the dowry if it has not been returned. That should suffice. Okay. So for me, as a concerned Queen Naomi fan, I want to say, let the elders of Queen Naomi family immediately nominate people and return the dowry that was paid on the head of Queen Naomi. That is, if it has not been returned before. That is one. Then after this, the prayer that is currently ongoing, by the grace of God, God is with them. Let them go ahead, complete it, and set this woman free. By the time they return the dowry and they conclude this 2-day prayer session, my brother, my sisters, Queen Naomi will be free by the grace of God. And nothing, I repeat, nothing will be able to hold her down. Okay? So this is the story we are hearing at this time. And it may not be so palatable to the ear, because we will have just wanted the customary court to end this, already. But this is where we are. This is Nigeria, and we have to take it the way it is. So, but for me, regardless of whatever the customary court has done, we are still safe and good. Let them return the dowry if they have not done so. Two, let them conclude this prayer they are doing to disconnect Queen Naomi spiritually from him. Once these two things are done, my brother, my sister, Queen Naomi is already set free. So this is what we are hearing at this time. And I felt like, man, I will not be doing you guys any good if I don't bring it now. So what do you think? What do you think? I want you guys to leave your comment in the comment section. God bless you as you do this. Bye-bye.